Deep in a dark and silent mountain, Professor Quack and his two apprentices are digging for cultural relics. Accidentally, they found a strange cave. This cave is very terrifying. There are not only skulls but also snakes. It turned out that the cave used to be a mass grave. It didn't take long for them to find a coffin standing upright. After the apprentice opened the coffin, a female zombie with a yellow spell was poured out. Then, a baby zombie and an adult male zombie were also found. So the three directly brought the zombie family home. Professor Quack feels very exciting. He treats these three zombies as precious cultural relics that can be sold for money on the black market. When he drove the little zombie to show a customer, he didn't expect an accident to happen. The wind was very strong that night, and the yellow spell on the head of the little zombie was accidentally blown off. The little zombie has since awakened and is full of curiosity about the human world. It not only fell in love with the dolls in the carriage but also danced to the music in the carriage. The professor and apprentice gradually realized that someone was shaking behind them. When they saw the zombies in the car, they were scared very much and jumped out instantly. This allowed the little zombie to slip from Professor Quack's grasp. Simultaneously, in the laboratory, Professor Quack's apprentice, Chicken, was examining the yellow spell on the female zombie's head. Ignorantly, he removed it for research purposes. This action immediately awakened the female zombie. She leaped to Chicken's side, intent on sucking his blood. Upon locking eyes, Chicken, in terror, fell to the ground. However, the female zombie used her mana to lift Chicken, who had collapsed onto the ground. As they were about to make an ill-fated contact, terrifying fangs materialized in the female zombie's mouth. Chicken was so frightened that he fled in haste. However, after a brief chase, the female zombie embraced Chicken tightly in her arms. Chicken exerted all his effort, struggled to the work table, and activated the searchlight, which immediately frightened the female zombie, causing her to retreat against the wall. This outcome left Chicken feeling quite satisfied. Nevertheless, in his moment of prideful celebration, Chicken accidentally broke the wire. Thus, his joy turned into sorrow when the female zombie attacked him again. The two scuffled by the table, and Chicken was already drenched in sweat. In desperation, he tore off the yellow talisman from the male zombie's head in an attempt to suppress the female zombie. Although this action quieted the female, it had the unintended consequence of awakening the male zombie. Chicken had to constantly switch the single yellow talisman between the two zombies. But how could one talisman possibly subdue two zombies at once? In the end, the male zombie bit Chicken's arm. After a fierce fight, Chicken emerged from the lab naked. Fortunately, at that moment, Professor Quack returned with his other apprentice, Sashimi. Upon entering, they discovered male zombies leaping about the room. The two masters and their apprentice collaborated and, through their combined efforts, managed to bind the male zombie with a rope. Professor Quack then applied a small yellow spell, which successfully subdued the male zombie, although the talisman's mystical power appeared to be barely adequate. At present, the two adult zombies have settled down temporarily. However, their offspring, the little zombie, stumbled upon Mr. Who's house by chance. Mr. Who's daughter, Chia, inadvertently discovered him in the warehouse. The little zombie, with his cute yet terrifying demeanor, even mimicked Chia's movements. Consequently, Chia was frightened and immediately summoned her friends, clad in full armor, to confront the creature in the warehouse. In the end, however, they found no zombies inside the warehouse. At night, it suddenly rained heavily. Concerned for the little zombie, Chia ventured to the warehouse to search for him. They successfully met within the warehouse, and a friendship was forged between them, hands clasped together in a warm and sincere manner. Chia escorted the little zombie back to her home. The little zombie, wielding his mana, manipulated all the toys in the room, a display that left Chia astonished. She promptly invited her brother to join in the play with the little zombie. However, her brother was far less valiant than Chia. So terrified was he by the presence of the little zombie that he hid his head under the pillow. In response, the little zombie utilized his magic to lift the plump boy into the air. Witnessing the little zombie's playful abilities, the brother's fear subsided, and he was no longer afraid. The following day, the students also became aware of the small zombie's presence in their midst. They were astounded by this remarkable child and proactively offered their names to him. Chia, considering that the little zombie lacked a distinctive name, bestowed upon him the moniker Gyokei Boy. With the camaraderie successfully established between the classmates and the little zombie, they engaged in various activities together, such as playing on the seesaw in the park and riding a sightseeing bus through the streets. Whenever OK Boy encountered malevolent bullies, he would come to the aid of his friends. Should OK Boy find himself in need of sustenance, they would accompany him to a blood station to partake in a drink of human blood. This lifestyle proved to be both tranquil and intriguing. In a pharmacy, reporter Yin is pleading with his prospective father-in-law, Master Cao, to allow him to marry his daughter Gigi. Unexpectedly, in this scenario, Master Cao appears to have abandoned his identity as a Taoist priest and has become a respected doctor, and he possesses a beautiful daughter. Master Cao informed Yin that he could marry his daughter, but only under the condition that he inherits the pharmacy. However, Yin aspires merely to be an excellent reporter. It seems, though, that Yin has had a very good relationship with his daughter for a long time. Observing his daughter's shy expression towards Yin, Master Cao seems to be left with no alternative. At this moment, the apprentice Chicken, who had been bitten by a zombie, arrived at the pharmacy seeking treatment. As he lifted his sleeves, extensive patches of red, swollen skin were revealed. Master Cao recognized immediately from a glance that these were the marks of a zombie bite. Though he is no longer a priest, he retains a clear memory of the treatments from his past. He fetched glutinous rice and applied it directly to Chicken's arm, eliciting a cry of acute pain from Chicken. Despite Chicken's insistence that he was bitten by a frenzied child, after the treatment was completed, Master Cao decided to tail Chicken to verify whether he had indeed been bitten by a zombie. Unbeknownst to Master Cao, Yin and Gigi also trailed behind him. Yin suspected that Chicken was concealing something and saw an opportunity to uncover a significant news story. Upon reaching the road, Master Cao observed Chicken entering a taxi. As he stood worried, unsure of his next move, a car approached from behind. Yin and Gigi urged Master Cao to quickly get inside the vehicle. Gigi remained in the dark about the true purpose of their pursuit. Yin, under the impression that Chicken had been bitten by a lion, was taken aback when Master Cao revealed the truth. Chicken had been bitten by a zombie. Since Master Cao had neglected to bring his magical instruments, he decided he must return home and asked Yin and Gigi to continue following Chicken. Upon reaching the laboratory, Yin instructed Gigi to return home and inform Master Cao of the situation. Following her departure, Chicken, in the company of the agitated Professor Quack, ventured out to search for the missing little zombie. Witnessing this, Yin decided to take direct action and broke in. He successfully found the two zombies wrapped in tinfoil. As a reporter with a penchant for making headlines, Yin was eager to document this sensational discovery. He lifted the zombies and placed them in the hallway, intending to capture an intimate photograph with them. In the process of taking numerous shots in pursuit of the perfect image, Yin inadvertently removed a yellow talisman from the zombies' heads. The couple immediately seized Yin by the neck. As Yin was on the verge of being strangled to death, the camera's shutter fortuitously snapped. The flash of white light repelled the zombies, affording Yin the opportunity to escape. A thrilling chase then unfolded in the laboratory. Despite Yin's seemingly frail appearance as a reporter, he possesses good kung fu. He kicked at the two zombies with his feet, but the zombie couple swiftly counterattacked. They latched onto Yin's legs and flung him onto the experimental table. In a quick reflex, Yin grabbed the slow-release agent from the table and hurled it at the zombies. A burst of white smoke suddenly erupted, and both the zombie and Yin inhaled the substance, causing their movements to slow down dramatically in an instant. The ensuing scuffle between them was as light and graceful as a dance. The altercation involving the three was almost comical, akin to a skirmish with a grandmother. The side effects of the slow-release agent led to a series of chaotic incidents instigated by the female zombie against her male counterpart, whether it was biting his arm or inadvertently stepping on his head. These actions irritated the male zombie, providing Yin with a chance to momentarily withdraw from the fray. At this juncture, Master Cao, armed with his ritual instruments and accompanied by Gigi, approached the laboratory's door. Clad in a Taoist robe, he transformed back into the dashing exorcist from Mao Mountain. Upon hearing the commotion within, he burst through the door and managed to kick the female zombie to the ground. However, to his surprise, both he and his daughter had inhaled the slow-release agent upon entering the lab, significantly slowing their movements and the efficacy of his peach-wood sword strikes. Although Master Cao was capable of handling a solitary zombie with relative ease, the presence of two presented a formidable challenge. He found himself somewhat overwhelmed by the odds. Fortunately, Yin was on hand to lend assistance. Engaging in a skirmish with the female zombie, Yin spotted an opportunity and managed to pour the slow-release agent into her mouth, effectively knocking her down. He then repeated the action with the male zombie. With these strategic moves, the immediate crisis was brought under temporary control. Following the incident, a multitude of police officers arrived at the laboratory to assess the situation. After a discussion, they resolved to temporarily store the zombies in cold storage. Professor Quack and his two apprentices were witnesses to this decision. Chicken and Sashimi, disheartened by the events, considered resigning from their apprenticeships. However, Professor Quack informed Chicken that, given his zombie bite, he must take a serum made from zombie blood as a treatment, which greatly angered Chicken. He questioned why he hadn't been informed earlier. In a fit of frustration, Chicken bit Sashimi, who seemed to take a certain pleasure in Chicken's misfortune. I can only say that Sashimi is also too poor. This is just an unmitigated disaster for him. In the dead of night, Master Cow and Yin approached the morgue. Aware that the police were ill-equipped to handle the zombies, they knew that traditional methods had failed, such as the ineffective attempt to slaying the zombies with a peachwood sword. Master Cow devised a new plan to eliminate the zombies using fire. However, as Yin was on the verge of searching for gasoline, he was taken aback by the unexpected arrival of someone. Master Cow and Yin had no choice but to conceal themselves on the cold icy bed. It was none other than Chicken and Sashimi who came to place. They carried the zombies out and wanted to take some zombie blood to cure themselves. As they were about to transfer the zombies into a vehicle, the large truck unexpectedly left them behind and drove off on its own. Unbeknownst to them, Master Cow and Yin had been inside the cab all along, having taken control of the entire truck. Master Cow's intention was to transport the zombies to a secure location, even resorting to forcefully breaching police checkpoints. However, officers on the road, armed with guns, compelled the duo to exit the vehicle. Faced with this show of force, Master Cow realized he had no alternative but to comply. At that very moment, the rear of the large truck began to shake with violent intensity. As the police officers advanced to open the door, Chicken and Sashimi were the first to be ejected from within. Subsequently, the two zombies nearly managed to exit the truck, nearly biting someone. Swiftly, everyone secured the zombies back inside the vehicle. A crowd gradually assembled, with people of both genders curious about the truck's contents and the events unfolding. Observing the situation, Master Cow decided to take decisive action to eliminate the zombies immediately. Master Cow's first move was to shatter the truck's fuel tank and engage in a struggle with a police officer to obtain his firearm. His plan was to ignite the gasoline with a gunshot, creating a fiery trap for the zombies. As the two zombies wailed in agony and tried to escape, they eventually burst through the roof of the truck. A chaotic battle between the undead and the living ensued on the roadway. Chicken and Sashimi, clutching a syringe, had the intention of extracting zombie blood, but how was that possible? Master Cow and Yin were also at a loss for an effective strategy, particularly after discovering that the zombies were impervious to bullets. However, the zombies did not appear to have any intention of harming the people. Instead, they kept leaping onto the vehicles and then fled into the darkness, leaving a trail of shadows in their wake. Back at Mr. Who's home, the three stumbled upon a live broadcast on television. The little zombie, known as OK Boy, spotted his parents on the screen and frantically scratched at the TV. Concurrently, Mr. Who, concerned for his children's safety, entered the room and inadvertently discovered OK Boy's presence. Sensing danger, Mr. Who urgently ordered his children to evacuate. Feeling the animosity radiating from Mr. Who, OK Boy instinctively resisted, leaping up as if to scratch Mr. Who. Despite his efforts, OK Boy's childlike nature was apparent. Mr. Who swiftly overpowered him, employing sheer strength to confine OK Boy within a closet, then promptly alerted the authorities for assistance. Trapped and in distress, OK Boy let out cries of pain from his confined space. The zombie parents, not far away, sensed the distressing sounds and immediately dashed towards their son's location. Mr. Who was unsuccessful in waiting for the police to arrive at his home in time. Instead, OK Boy's parents reached the scene first. A dramatic chase ensued within the confines of the house. Mr. Who, fearful of the zombies, continuously moved the children from room to room, hoping to evade them by changing locations. However, to his surprise, the female zombie was already guarding the door of one of the rooms. As the female zombie began to push the door open, threatening the lives of the three family members, OK Boy grew increasingly concerned. He let out a loud shout, attempting to safeguard Mr. Who's family. This cry caught the attention of the male and female zombies, who then went to locate their offspring. Upon reuniting with their son, the three of them naturally embraced, their familial bond intact. Subsequently, the two adult zombies stormed into the room with the intention of harming the family who had imprisoned their child. The male zombie overcame Mr. Who and even seized Chia, threatening her life. At this critical juncture, OK Boy bravely intervened, using a unique zombie language to communicate with his parents, imploring them not to harm Mr. Who. His plea served as a testament to the lingering humanity within him, despite his transformation. All good things must come to an end. Now that OK Boy has found his parents, he must return with them. Before their separation, OK Boy was in tears, wishing to shake hands with the little chubby brother and sister. Defying her father's objections, Chia complied with OK Boy's heartfelt request, and they shared a handshake. A poignant scene of reluctant farewell unfolded between the young zombie and the plump girl. Once the goodbyes were spoken, OK Boy leaped out of the villa, joining his parents as they departed. However, a multitude of police officers were already lying in wait outside the villa. They illuminated the area with powerful searchlights and, without delay, commenced firing at the pair with their service weapons. The two zombies, caught off guard, retreated into the house. The sheriff initially planned to destroy the entire villa using dynamite. Yet, taking into account the presence of Mr. Hu's family members, the authorities had to reconsider their approach and decided to send in individuals to confront the situation directly. At this critical moment, Master Cao and Yin made their move. Master Cao presented his credentials, indicating that his master was the renowned Sammo Hung, an expert in the exorcism and hunting of supernatural beings. He himself was the celebrated lamb Ching-Ying, who had previously captured the elusive Mr. Vampire the year before. The police chief was momentarily taken aback by Master Cao's impressive qualifications. After a brief hesitation, he granted permission for Master Cao and Yin to enter the villa, armed with anesthetics and a peachwood sword to handle the situation. Shortly after Master Cao and Yin entered the room, they engaged in an intense battle with the zombies. Master Cao strategically used Yin as bait to draw the zombies' attention and gunfire. Seizing the moment, he struck the female zombie in the abdomen with his sword, neutralizing her. The male zombie, overwhelmed with grief, retaliated with a ferocious assault on the duo. Under pressure, Master Cao and Yin made a hasty retreat to an adjacent warehouse. Once they had lured the zombies away from the villa, the police chief swiftly ordered a rocket squad to launch an attack. A rocket struck the warehouse, leveling it to the ground in an instant. Yet, as the emergency responders moved in to assess the aftermath, the male zombie unexpectedly emerged from the rubble, having survived the explosion. Driven mad with rage, he launched a chaotic assault. Yin responded by firing a specially designed chemical bullet at the male zombie. The bullet, intended to corrode the zombie's body, had a severe corrosive effect. This act of using such a destructive measure weighed heavily on Yin's conscience, making him feel the harshness of their actions. However, he understood the necessity. Without it, the male zombie could have potentially killed numerous people. After the male zombie was neutralized, OK Boy presented a dilemma for Mr. Hu. The little zombie, having saved his family, left Mr. Hu uncertain about how to handle the situation. Later, when Master Cao and Yin searched the room for OK Boy, they recognized that the child zombie retained his humanity and understood that the family wished to protect him. Master Cao made the ultimate decision to spare his life. He concealed the little zombie and removed him from the villa with the intention of employing a unique method to assist him, ensuring that OK Boy could live a happy life without causing harm to others. However, during their return journey, they unexpectedly encountered the figure of Professor Quack standing in their path, who was, in fact, deceased. Behind him materialized his two former apprentices, now transformed into corpses. The unfortunate chicken and sashimi, having failed to secure the zombie blood needed for their cure, were overcome by a bloodthirsty compulsion that drove them to lunge at Master Cao and Yin. It appears that the stage is set for a new tale to unfold.